Welcome to Free Media. I'm Robby Soave.
Still Andrew Heaton.
Okay, then. Well, Time Magazine has named its annual Person of the Year, and this time it's the architects of AI. Sam Altman, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and the other people making artificial intelligence a reality. Now, Altman had appeared on Jimmy Fallon's show earlier this week defending the benefits of AI. Let's watch.
Well, it's kind of interesting because rich people have these great, amazing doctors and lawyers and business managers, whereas people that don't make enough, as much money as these people, they don't get those opportunities. And what ChatGPT does, they have you can get the same answer. You're just typing in these questions, you'll get the best.
No, I think this is a cool thing about technology. I think there's many downsides to technology, but there's a lot of upsides. And one of the big upsides is it is a sort of equalizing force in many ways. I remember people used to say this when the iPhone came out.
Yeah.
The richest, most powerful person in the world got the same piece of hardware that was, billions of other people got. And I think AI is pushing in the same direction, and it'll take some work to ensure it goes in this way, but it should be like a good force for society.
I love a good gimmick Person of the Year, so I was hoping they were going to name AI itself the Person of the Year, and then we'd have these, it's not a person. I'm sure you remember when we all got the nod.
2008, I put that on my resume every time. I was a recipient of Time's Person of the Year.
Me too, and I never get tired of that joke ever. It's the joke that never gets old for me. So this isn't quite a gimmick because it's the architects of AI. Well-deserved awarding,
yeah, I think so. Plus, with Time, they're not necessarily saying it's a great person, right? They're using great and like great.
What
man
if
of
Hitler
history.
got it again this year?
That'd be amazing.
A lot of Republican staffers voted for that.
Bad, but interesting. Yeah. So no, I think that like they are a huge part of the landscape right now. They are a huge part of remaking society. They're a really big deal. All of that makes sense, and by and large, I'm in favor. I liked the Altman interview. I use ChatGPT all the time. I agree with him that I think it's an equalizing force. I think everybody in America got their own personal assistant. Congratulations. You have your own personal assistant now. Kind of dumb, lies to you sometimes, but you know what? My old personal assistant did that. I've never had a personal assistant. They won't give me one because I'd make them wear a uniform and stuff. Reason won't do it. But now I have ChatGPT, and I've got an army of inexhaustible interns.
See, I agree, and I wish the only person in the audience at this debate we did on Big Tech last night had been you. If it had just been you voting, my side would have won because that is an argument I made. I think AI is a wonderful and liberating technology, just along the lines Sam Altman laid out there. I'm using it to do research, and again, not to write my talking points for me, not to prepare my literal speeches. You'd be able to tell if it was that, because those are, people can see through it. There's a artificiality and a hollowness to it. But if I need to check quick facts, or even while I'm debating somebody, I can pull up my phone and go. I used to have to go to Wikipedia, you kind of look through it. Now I can literally just say, okay, what is that thing called? That thing I'm thinking of, what is it? And it tells me. It knows what I'm thinking. That's pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing. And I've caught flack for this too, because I'll use it all the time, right? I'll use it to do some research. I'll use it for brainstorming purposes. Yeah. I'll have the title of a podcast, and then I'll go, give me 10 variations of this. And somebody was critical that I was talking to. Was like, I can't believe you're using AI for that. And I'm like, I used to work in television. That was my job. The thing that I'm asking it to do is what people that are rich already have access to. They already have all those people that they can rely on. Now we get to have that. We all get to have our own team of people that we're relying on a regular basis. It is an incredible technology. The bits that worry me, I think ChatGPT, one, it can lie to you. So you're not actually talking to a man right now. You're talking to a limited liability corporation that elected for S-Corp status on March 12th of this year. And getting through that process was very useful with ChatGPT to figure all of that out. But there's a chance I'll go to jail. There's a chance that I misfiled something, right?
Yeah. I was like, Andrew Heaton penis size, it was just, that was not correct information.
Solid medium. I think I've got little dick energy as opposed to big dick energy. Women are always just kind of pleasantly relieved when I take my pants off, in a consensual manner.
Love that.
Yeah. But with what were we talking about?
I threw you off your game. I finally got you. You're the funny man, and I'm the one thrown for a loop. But there are downsides to it. Yes.
So if I'm doing research, I'm more careful now to make sure that it gives me a link that I can verify if it's a fact or figure or something like that. And then I've even used it something is really bugging me. It's 2:00 in the morning. It's too late to call one of my friends. I'll use ChatGPT. It is so obsequious that I'm afraid that I can feedback loop myself to where well, apparently I was completely right. So like there are things that it can do, but they're downsides that are peripheral to an overall incredible technology that we have.
The people who are most worried about it are, I think, marshaling some of the stupidest arguments I've ever heard against it, such that, Jonathan Haidt, who I like a lot of what he does and says, and he's a very important thinker, but I disagree with him on the subject. Him and others saying like, oh my God, look, it will explain, ask it for what's a plan to destroy humanity, and then it produces that thing. Like, what are you talking about? That's not it showing that it has a personality or desire to do that. It just fed back what you asked for it. You search something, you get what you searched for. Doesn't mean the search engine is trying to kill you. It doesn't have a consciousness. It's not out to get you. That's in your head. That's you being paranoid, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, the two, so I think the term,
like it will tell you how to rob a bank if you search for it because it's a repository of information, and among the information it has is how to rob a bank or how to cause a genocide. It has no desire to do that. You're the one who has a desire to do that, maybe, if you're the one seeking that information.
I agree with you. So some of the arguments that I don't give much credence to is I'm not worried about it putting everybody out of a job.
Right.
I am worried about certain people losing their job and being old enough that they're unlikely to be retrained or find other employment.
Right.
But that's true with any technology. It's usually, invariably, it's a net positive in terms of creating more jobs than it destroys. So I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about the
Bet you were pretty upset when that wheelbarrow came along and started making farm work easier.
And I used to, there used to be a job called knocker-upper, not what you think. A knocker-upper was prior to having clocks. You would have a guy that would walk by houses and knock on the window, and those guys don't have jobs anymore. So I'm not worried about automation. I'm not worried about the Terminator hypothesis, the idea that eventually ChatGPT will wake up and decide to kill us.
Right.
I think that the best negative argument that I've heard that deserves some amount of credence is if you have this incredible apparatus for problem solving, you could lower the barrier to entry and the infrastructure necessary to do something really bad. Mm-hmm. So right now, it takes a lot of resources to say, like, make a virus. Mm-hmm. You need to have a lab. You need to have all sorts of stuff. What if it reduced the amount of resources necessary by 80% to produce a really bad virus? That's something worth considering.
Dr. Fauci's been working very hard at that.
Yeah. Right now, you need to have the federal government give you subsidies that you give to China to make a bat flu that kills a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Or becoming maybe more plausibly getting really good at designing computer viruses very quickly and knocking out electrical grids. So it could be
Scammers have new tools in their disposal.
So I think the idea that it will lower the cost necessary to weaponize things, that's a legitimate concern. But by that same token, I am in general more concerned with achieving gain and having growth and positive things than I am in reducing harm. Have you ever heard the term upwinger versus downwinger?
No.
Okay. I'm really tired of the left wing, right wing thing. I think it's a dumb paradigm. We shouldn't allow dead French people to define how we think. Get rid of it. Quit saying left wing, right wing. Upwing, downwing, in this context, makes sense. So an upwinger is somebody that is more concerned about opportunity cost and trying to develop things. A downwinger is concerned about harm mitigation. So somebody that goes, let's move really slowly with AI. Let's do it very tiny and make sure that nothing bad ever happens.
So that China beats and enslaves us.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's the downwinger group. Whereas the upwinger group is going hey, we might cure cancer.
Right.
Are we more concerned about the potential downside or the potential upside? I'm on the potential upside of this.
Same. We might make, I said this last night, we might make car crashes a thing of the past, something that kills 50,000 people every year.
Or in that same
vehicles.
Altman interview, Altman rightly brought up the incredible medical capacity of this. One of my friends has done some work with OpenAI and through them with Harvard Medical. And in his conversations with them, there'll be some baffling disease and they'll put in the various components and it'll go oh, yeah, you've got Crohn's disease and you've got a potassium allergy. I don't know what the thing is. I'm not a doctor. But they're able to find those. There's incredible benefits to it. That being said, that's the really pie in the sky stuff. The beneficial daily stuff is it's a much smarter version of Google, and I can outsource a lot of the tedium that I have to do on a regular basis to this.
Do you think it's weird, maybe a weird coincidence that the guy at the forefront of this, his name is Altman? Isn't that kind of
No, I think that's pretty good writing for the simulation that we live in.
They already achieved this, and we're in it.
I'm fairly confident we're not living in the real universe. I think we're living in some kind of weird side universe that's like some kind of sitcom.
Yeah.
I'm not confident who the star is. I'm pretty sure it's not me. I think I'm a wacky side character. But yeah, that's decent writing. Okay, that's kind of a nice pun.
You've dressed for the job you want then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm doing kind of like a low-rent Hugh Grant kind of thing. I like it.
Yes, indeed. All right, that's enough of that. More free media right after these messages.